better get down on your knees and pay. 1,000 more fools are being born every fucking day.
Tonight's show is brought to you by...
Did somebody say you couldn't enter their business because you weren't wearing a face mask? That's racist, and that may be actionable. Yo, what's up, my homies? It's Slick Jimmy James here with the law offices of James, Jameson, and Johnson. And I'm here with my main man, the big homie, Leroy Johnson. See, we're here to tell you that, up until last week, we'd sue anybody. But that was until I realized that made me a bald-faced racist. Now, here at 1-800-JUST-JIM, we are down for the struggle. And we realize who the real enemy is. It's the white people. Isn't that right, Leroy?
Jim, what the hell? What's with the music, dude?
I'm doing a thing for your people. Play along, Jesus. Anyway, let's see. Did you take a knee for your neighborhood looters and replace your Facebook logo with a black rectangle? Did they beat your ass and rob you anyway? Well, that isn't actionable. You're not who we're looking for because you had it coming. Johnson, say something to your people.
My people? Dude, what is wrong with you?
Come on, Johnson. It's called marketing. Anyway, me and Leroy, who's a black fella, by the way, he's practically my best and only homeboy. We're here to tell you that we're gonna sue all the police for you. We're gonna get that money, homie. Leroy, say something, man. Put some of that hood in your voice.
Jim, I'm telling you, dude, I'm gonna kick your ass.
Damn it, Johnson, you gotta play along, man. You're the key to getting us through this thing without somebody setting the damn office on fire. Just, here, read this.
Alright, whatever. Yo, my dogs. This big Leroy Johnson here at 1-800... Jim, I'm not gonna read this, dude. This is stupid, man. I got a degree from Harvard Law.
Come on, man. Come on, he's hood, he's down. Look, we keep it ghetto over.
You know what, Jim? Fuck you. I'm out of here.
Come on, Johnson. All right, folks. 1-800-JUSTJIM.
Hello, and welcome to episode 32 of the War On Morons, where we speak truth to stupidity. I'm Anissa.
And I'm Jay.
Holy shit, guys. At least when we were all dying of a pandemic, we got to stay home and garden. Now apparently we're rioting, looting, and burning America to the ground.
Like, can we just go back to a save point or something? Like, 2020 is getting out of control.
Oh my god. Regardless of how high our stress levels may get, one thing is certain. The idiots of the world will always continue to make the headlines, so rest assured we have an awesome show for you this week.
Definitely a great show for you. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of the show and you want to join us in the fight against the morons, it's easy. Subscribe for free at thewaronmorons.podbean.com so you never miss an episode and so you can get access to the shows up to 3 days in advance.
Also, call our call-in line so you can be a part of the show at 813-906-9099.
Yeah, call in live or leave us a voicemail. We want to hear from you. And last but not least, we need more soldiers on the front line of foolishness, and your support is what keeps us on the air. So if you like the show, follow us on YouTube, give us a like at facebook.com/waronmorons, leave us a review on your favorite podcast app, or best of all, share it with your friends.
Absolutely. And now for this week's top morons. Now, whether you agree with the protesters or not, I think we all agree that they have the right to peacefully demonstrate. Well, all of us except one Salt Lake City man, that is, who decided that his beef with the protesters was so big, he'd take his bow and arrow and attack them with it.
Wait, what? A bow and arrow?
Yeah.
What, like Robin Hood?
I thought Hawkeye was supposed to be a good guy, but apparently not.
Yeah, not exactly on the side of the people there.
No, and here's the truly moronic part. I mean, this 57-year-old lunatic's motive was, to me, the most insane part of this entire story.
Okay, what was it?
He was out to protect the police.
Okay, so, I mean, The police are out there looking like Darth Vader. You know, they got military-grade weaponry. They got riot gear from head to toe. They got machine guns. But, yeah, they really need you on the scene with your hunting gear from Camping World, Grandpa.
I know, right? Like, honestly. Happily, the man was brutally beaten up by the protesters and arrested on 3 felony charges. So, all's well that ends in hilarity.
Yep.
Now, moving on to another story related to the protests, one Twitter user and NBA commentator, Chris Martin Palmer, showed his support for the burgeoning riots by retweeting a photo of a burning building, saying, "Burn that shit down. Burn it all down."
How did that work out for him?
Well, he quickly revealed he was not quite as down with the cause as he had led his followers to believe when he later tweeted, "They just attacked our sister community down the street. It's a gated community and they tried to climb the gates. They had to beat them back. They destroyed a Starbucks and are now in front of my building."
Oh, no, not a Starbucks.
A Starbucks.
They burned the Starbucks.
Then he
F, press F.
Then he continued, "Get these animals the fuck out of my neighborhood. Go back to where you live."
Yeah,
nice.
I love when something just blows up in these Hollywood liberals' faces. It's so funny. These guys think that, you know, just because they go out and virtue signal, that it won't affect them. Like, I saw some really great videos on YouTube. My favorite was this store. I didn't know what city it was in, but they put a sign on the window that said, "We are in solidarity with the rioters and the looters."
Okay, and?
Well, a brick gets thrown through their storefront, and a bunch of guys run in, beat the shit out of them, and steal everything that they have.
How could that have possibly happened?
Yeah.
I mean, they put a sign up.
We were on your side. Come on, guys.
I don't think these people get how it works at all. Look, you may not like the fact that looters and rioters are destroying your business, your home, and your city. But Virginia Democrats don't plan on doing anything to stop it.
Why would they?
Claiming that riots are an integral part of this country's march towards progress. Yeah, well, it sure feels like progress when your city is being burned to the ground.
Yeah, and I mean, if the big bad coronavirus is out there, you're not allowed to leave your house or grab a beer at your local bar. But if one guy is murdered by a bad cop, suddenly it's your American right to destroy the city and everybody else's possessions?
That's right. That's the world we live in now.
Well, to be fair, I mean, Democrats have been trying to destroy the country for like the last 60 years.
It's also not all Democrats that are saying this. I mean, Creepy Joe is getting in the headlines, going on the record saying that police should be trained to shoot him in the leg instead of the heart. Well, isn't that just heartwarming?
I don't even know, like, what he's... So he thinks that police are like some kind of like expert marksman? And then they can just, like, "Oh, no, the guy's, you know, he's running at you with the knife." "Oh, that's all right, pal. I'm just going to take out his left toe." Minimal damage? Wait, actually, that wouldn't even stop the issue, would it?
No, it wouldn't, because if somebody's armed, like, they're still going to shoot at you, like, even if you hit him in the fucking toe or ankle.
I don't think that he has any idea how handguns work, either.
I just love the fact that he's like, I mean, I know the heart is, like, a part of the body, but I feel like he's just being like, don't shoot him in the heart or their mind or, like, their soul. Shoot him in the leg. That's so much more practical. Like, come on, Joe.
I mean, there's so many ways to take this, but I think that the bottom line is that Creepy Joe is an idiot. He doesn't know how handguns work. He doesn't know how crime fighting works. He doesn't know how anatomy works. And he's been playing too many freaking video games.
Apparently. I mean, that's how they gotta subdue him when he's not on stage.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I have to say, I think the police need a lot more training than just Creepy Joe's suggestion. I mean, given the fact that one Instagram user caught a policeman following the "if you can't beat 'em, join 'em" protocol.
Wait, the what?
Yeah, isn't that on page 1 of the police training manual?
If you can't beat them, join them.
Right.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, one video was uploaded showing a police officer in uniform loading up his car with looted Nike shoes.
I mean, do you know what police officers get paid?
I mean, they get paid enough to not have to join the looters.
They don't get paid enough to deal with all this shit. Everybody else is allowed to do it. Why can't they? Maybe that police officer was shown how, you know, he's not racist.
What?
Well, I mean, I thought that's how you did that these days.
No, that has nothing to...
All the leftists on Facebook keep saying that looting's a legitimate form of protest. in a capitalist society.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure the police are not supposed to be joining in on the looting. It's kind of an unfair advantage too. I mean, they're all loaded up with riot gear, and they're obviously gonna get the best
They're gonna get the best shit.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, that's not even fair.
I mean, I've seen some videos out, especially like in Philly, where it shows like it's like the big fish that gets eaten by the bigger fish and eaten by the bigger fish.
Yeah.
You see these dudes like running out of a store with a bunch of boxes in their hands that they just stole, and then some other guy just comes around the corner and clocks him and steals them. Anyway, we're getting a call. It looks like a 718 area code.
Oh boy, alright. I can only imagine what this is gonna be. Why don't we pick it up? Hello, caller. Why don't you tell us your name and where you're calling from?
Boy, how you doing? Long time no talk.
I'm sorry, who is this? I can barely hear you.
It's Rudy, your baseball correspondent. You know, I called you for the baseball game, for the spring training in Florida.
Oh, geez, Rudy? You're still alive?
Well, of course I'm alive, honey. I'm back home. I'm back in New York. It's a wonderful time. I've never had such a party. This is crazy. It's so fun.
Where the hell are you, Rudy? I can barely hear what you're saying.
I'm in Brooklyn. What?
What's all that noise?
I can barely hear you. I'm at a street party with all these guys from the neighborhood. It's like a bonfire.
Are you at the protest?
Protest? No, we're running around town. It's great. We're smashing windows. We're starting fires. We're stealing all kinds of shit. I took down all kinds of stores and businesses. This is a great time. I'm hanging out with the BMs, with the BMs.
Do you mean BLM?
The BLM, yeah, for the black. Yeah, we're robbing everybody in town.
Rudy, you're not supposed to be rioting and looting, Rudy. You're supposed to be peacefully protesting.
No, it's a good time. I'm wearing a mask on account of this virus. So I don't get sick. Because maybe you don't know, I'm a little bit older. I fought the war.
Yeah, I know, Rudy. You're old as shit. I mean, what the hell are you...
I put a ski mask on, and I came and I joined all the fellas here, and hey, they got the CVS pharmacy. Come on, homeboy. Hey, come on to the CVS, let's take them down.
Rudy, no! This is hurting the cause. You're not supposed to be doing this.
We're gonna get some practice sex. We're gonna get some volume.
Oh my God.
Hey, Antonio, what do you want? I can got some business for you.
Rudy, are you looting the CVS right now? Stop it!
Hey, fuck you, the black man, you bitch. Give me some fucking drugs.
Oh my God, that's enough out of you, Rudy. I freaking hope that guy gets arrested. What a lunatic.
I mean, every time he calls us, he's committing a crime.
Yeah.
He must be loving this, though, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, honestly.
This guy almost started a riot at a frickin' spring training baseball game. And now it's in his backyard.
Yeah, I think, honestly, that's plenty of riot talk for tonight.
Yeah.
How about we do something a little bit more fresh?
Ooh,
like a block of coronavirus stories.
Just when we thought we were out, they pull us back in.
Well, the mayor of a town in Peru posed as a dead coronavirus victim by lying in a coffin while wearing a face mask to avoid being arrested for violating lockdown rules that he should have been helping to enforce.
Okay, this might actually be in the lead for the weirdest frickin' headline of the year. And
Right?
we've got a lot of them. So he's the mayor of the town, so you'd think he'd have some pull there.
Right.
And yet he has to pose as a dead body because he doesn't want to get arrested for going out during coronavirus. But the weirdest thing to me is they just have coffins lying around in the middle of the street?
Yeah, what the hell kind of bar was he at?
With dead bodies in them? And, like, you just, there's an empty coffin. Let me just hop in there real quick and put my arms across my chest.
I honestly do not think, like, when I think of Peru, that is not the picture I get. Like, that's pretty freaking weird if that's how it's set up over there. And to be honest, I mean, we've seen mayors pull some pretty crazy stuff over the last few weeks. Out of all the government hijinks you could get up to as a mayor, drinking with your friends is not the one you fake your death over.
Oh, so that he was out drinking?
Yeah.
Why, like, dude, just invite him over, pal. You're the freaking mayor. You don't have a nice bottle of scotch somewhere in the mayoral mansion?
Apparently not.
Jeez.
Look, they may not be handling things well enough in Peru, but one Hindu priest in India may be slightly too proactive in his bid to end the pandemic.
No, you can't be too proactive. This is the coronavirus.
Oh, I think you can, because this guy, Sinsari Oja, 72 years old, was said to be both drunk and high from marijuana when he decapitated a man with an axe inside a temple to appease a goddess and hopefully put a stop to coronavirus.
Well, you know, in India, they chop off somebody's head to end the coronavirus. In America, we let a cop kill a guy.
Either way, it's not working!
It worked here.
No!
They haven't been talking about it on CNN in 2 weeks.
Oh my god. Like, Jesus, how wrong do you have to be? Like, how do you go your whole religion and, like, your whole life? He's 72 years old. Like, you'd think by now he's learned that, like, stuff doesn't magically happen just because you, like, pray about it or, like, chop a finger off or whatever the hell he gets up to.
Well, you'd think that he could get to the age of 72 while, you know, knowing what he can handle. Apparently, he can't handle marijuana.
Right?
Not even once.
Not even
Like, what is this, reefer madness?
Oh, man. Well, headless in India, they're just going topless in Mexico. 66-year-old Mexican Senator Martha Luisa Mijer started getting changed during a Zoom meeting with members of the National Regeneration Movement political party, the Bank of Mexico, and journalists all on the call. Unaware that her camera was on, she revealed her naked chest to the whole meeting. Everybody participant, and now screen grabs are being shared online.
I'm sure everybody wants to see him.
Oh, yeah. And she's not ashamed either. Like, her whole defense is like, I'm not ashamed of my body. Like, I raised 3 kids, I breastfed them. Like, you know, this is not...
So she's, like, flaunting this.
Yeah.
The 66-year-old Mexican senator.
Yeah, she's like, if you got a problem, like, I don't.
Oh, well, you know, at least she's owning it. Could you imagine if Pelosi did that?
Oh, Jesus.
She probably wouldn't even realize she did it. She's fucking drunk all the time.
God forbid. Look, maybe Martha should cover up, which brings us to our next story. Scientists at Harvard are saying all couples should cover up when having sex. With a mask, that is.
Sexy.
Yeah, nothing screams intimacy like an N95 mask. Love in the age of coronavirus sure is a minefield, and it's getting harder and harder to find because sex with someone you don't live with is now illegal in England.
Wow, that really takes Tinder to the next level. Because not only are you trying to hook up with somebody, but you're also trying to find a roommate.
Right. And talk about moving fast, because new laws have been passed across the pond prohibiting indoor gatherings of 2 or more people from different households amid the pandemic. Now, the law doesn't explicitly mention sex, but clearly if you don't live with your partner, the logistics of hooking up got a lot more complicated.
They're just going to do it in the road.
Oh
I heard a song
God.
about that. You're going to see people doing it in the road with gimp masks on. Like, England's about to get way freakier.
Look, I don't know about all that. I think a lot of people might be in a dry spell now because of the quarantine.
Well, maybe they can be doing it at a protest or a riot.
You know, sex being illegal.
In a mask.
Never fear. A post-coronavirus Avengers theme orgy is being planned to end the longest dry spell in all of history. One couple recently posted 30 flyers advertising this so-called post-pandemic Pan-Philadelphia orgy, which was originally a joke, but now that it has garnered so much interest, is actually going to be hosted.
You know, they can say what you want about how much freedom that we've lost in America over the last few months, but at least we're showing the English that we're not afraid to get down. because they're over there, and husbands and wives are they're having sex fully clothed and wearing masks, and you can't even hook up with somebody that you don't live in the same house with. And in America, we've got neighborhood flyers advertising an orgy? What the frickin' hell is wrong with these people?
I mean, normally I would say you'd have trouble drumming up interest in your Avengers-themed orgy, but apparently people are so desperate for any kind of human interaction that it's become like a major attraction.
I didn't even hear the Avengers part.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they could do that in England. On account of the masks.
Oh, right, the masks.
Yeah.
Good idea. Oh.
And I mean, with everything going on in the news, I mean, the Falcon, Black Panther, they're going to be popular at that orgy. Nobody wants to look racist.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
Hey, Green Lives Matter. Go as the Hulk.
Talk about Hulk smash.
Oh, man.
Enough of this. We got to call on line 1. It looks like it's a Texas area code.
All right, you better pick this one up.
All right, caller. You're on the air. State your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, this is LueEllen calling from Plano, Texas.
Hey, LueEllen. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine, although I could be doing a little bit better. I gotta say, all the protesters and rioters are getting out of hand.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are saying the same thing. I mean, you're in the Dallas area, right?
Yeah, I'm in the suburbs of Dallas, and we've had our fair share of folks protesting and throwing a fit. I ran into one of them myself, actually, which is what made me decide to call in. I mean, I really think people need to know, who these people are and what they're dealing with, because I was pretty surprised when I ran into one myself.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so you came across one of the protests, or what happened?
Yeah, well, I had gone to Kroger to do some grocery shopping, and I ran into one of these protesters. I mean, I could tell she was a protester because she was wearing one of those T-shirts that said Black Lives Matter.
Okay.
And, I mean, she might have looked like she was just doing grocery shopping, but, I could tell from the T-shirt that she was definitely a part of these rioters and looters. So, I went over to her to, give her a piece of my mind. Because
hold on,
what they're doing with destroying the city is right.
So you went and confronted her you say she was a rioter or a looter, but she was just grocery shopping?
Well, she was wearing one of them T-shirts saying Black Lives Matter. I mean, I don't know what the hell she expected after putting on that T-shirt. I mean, it's pretty offensive, to be honest. I went up to her and I asked her, I said, actually, don't you think all lives matter? And she said, that's not the point. And I was like, oh, yes, it is. Why don't you look at my children, look at their faces and tell them their lives don't matter? Is that what you mean? I mean, it was unbelievable how self-righteous she got.
I can only imagine. I mean, people don't typically take that line very, very well. I mean, I have to ask, was this woman black?
Well, yeah, she was, but, that really, I mean, I don't care about that. With her T-shirt, that really let me know, that she was a piece of work. Because, you don't go around wearing a T-shirt like that, and not expect to be riling people's feathers up.
I mean, LueEllen, I'm with you to an extent. I mean, I'm certainly not in favor of rioting and looting. And the Black Lives Matter movement, I mean, it is rubbing a lot of people the wrong way, but it sounds to me that she was just out there, honestly, showing what she thought about this police brutality. I mean, people are scared. People feel that there's an injustice, that there's a lot of black people that are being killed by the cops.
If they don't want to get shot, maybe they shouldn't do so much crime.
Oh, my God. All right, I'm just going to move on from that one.
She thinks that the police are being aggressive to black people. I mean, I can tell you from my experience that is absolutely not true. I mean, she was, really getting nasty with me at the end of the day. She was yelling, screaming at me, and, I
Wait a second.
Keep on me.
Please don't tell me you pulled a gun on this woman.
Of course not. I'm with my kids. I pulled out pepper spray, and I shot her with the pepper spray because she was getting real aggressive. And wouldn't you believe, the cops showed up, not very many of them, but a couple of them, and all they wanted to do was talk to me. They had no interest in Miss Black Lives Matter.
I mean, that's gonna happen when you shoot...
Protesting.
Jesus, when you shoot somebody with pepper spray at the grocery store, the cops might just want to take you in. I mean, I don't think that's too crazy to believe.
Well, I thought it was downright outrageous. I mean, they're protesting stuff that is not even factual. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, I don't understand what she was so offended by. I was offended by her T-shirt, and I think that, you know, I thought you'd be on my side, to be honest. You know, it's moronic what these people are doing, and, you know, you should know better than to be taking their side, honestly.
I'm not trying to take anybody's side. I just don't think you should assault people in the checkout aisle. But either way, I'm kind of surprised we're talking to each other right now. Are you calling from jail?
Well, no. I mean, you know, I have a lawyer, obviously. I mean, you know, I'm not going to have to, you know, do any time because it was self-defense.
All right. Well, LueEllen, I'll add that to your growing case file. And I'll let you get back to your day.
Goodbye.
I mean, of all the things that you could do in the middle of all this.
What the hell is her problem? Like, she's just attacking people in the grocery store?
I mean, to be fair, I mean, it's a really divisive climate right now. Maybe LueEllen shouldn't be going out in public.
LueEllen should not be interacting with other people, period. She's, like, very aggressive.
But, I mean, we gotta give her some credit. Usually, she pulls out a handgun.
She did show some restraint.
Yeah, so good job, LueEllen. Yeah.
I'm just glad the police weren't too tied up with the protests to be able to get her off the streets, at least for a little while.
Anyway, moving on. Do we have anything else in the stack today?
Yeah, we can actually end the week with some fun conspiratorial crime stories.
Oh, conspiracies? Say no more. I've been waiting for this. All right, so I've got a good conspiracy for you. How is it that Berkshire Hathaway-owned Acme Brick Company has been leaving loose piles of bricks as bait for rioters at the police brutality protests all week?
No, actually, that's not what I meant at all. I meant, like, fun, conspiratorial.
Fun conspiracy. Okay, I got one. Okay. Alphabet agency agent provocateurs are posing as demonstrators to turn protests into deadly riots. How?
Wait,
and who is...
We just got our show back from the network. We're not turning it into a conspiracy show.
I thought we were gonna do maybe like a coast to coast Art Bell.
No,
kind of Infowars.
Conspiratorial crime.
Yeah, tinfoil. Oh, I got you.
Crime, like stupid criminals.
Stupid criminals.
Yeah.
We'll go back and take that last bit out in post, right?
Oh, man. All right. Let's just get into these stories. Now, here's a headline you can't make up. Hitman hires hitman who hires hitman who hires hitman who hires hitman.
All right. I think I read that Dr. Seuss book once.
In China, 5 hitmen have been jailed for attempted murder after each one avoided carrying out the contract themselves so they could make a profit.
You know, I thought China was not afraid to get its hands dirty. Like, you know, Americans, I could see a story like this happening. We're always trying to outsource all the hard work and the labor. In China, they get stuff done. But apparently they're afraid to, you know, actually do their frickin' job as a hitman.
Oh my God, who could have predicted that outsourcing your cold-blooded murder-for-hire initiatives would end in disaster?
And you, like, make less money every person that you bring into the mix.
Yeah, and more people know about, you know, your murders that you're planning.
Jesus. And now they're all in jail, right?
Right.
Were any of them actually hitmen?
I think they were hitmen, yeah.
I was about to say, like maybe they just, you know, fit the description. Like they saw a bald
Like,
dude
he
in a
just went up
suit.
to a dodgy guy in a bar and was like, hey, I got a job for you.
Yeah, or maybe he had a tattoo on the back of his head. You know, it looked like a barcode, and he just made an assumption.
Oh my God. Well, look, speaking of disastrous endings, a Georgia teacher was arrested for solicitation of sodomy after he met a man at a motel for gay sex. Now,
Okay.
his would-be suitor mugged and robbed him. So naturally, the upstanding educator then tried to lie and claim that he was kidnapped when speaking with the cops in order to cover up the gay sex prostitute motel shakedown.
So he didn't think that they would figure it out?
Yeah, like
I was just meeting this, random guy at a motel, on the bad side of town.
definitely wasn't going to pay him for sex or anything.
No, don't look him up or anything. And ignore the fact that he's obviously a homosexual prostitute.
Ignore the fact that I met him on Craigslist and
Yeah.
had posted a wanted ad.
If you're trying to keep your gayness a secret, sometimes you just gotta take a loss. Like, how much money could he have lost to where he was, don't call the cops, buddy.
Right,
Yeah.
if a prostitute robs you, you don't post about it on Facebook. You don't call the cops. You just take the loss and move on.
Charge that one to the game. or to the gay.
Well, look, while teachers are out soliciting prostitutes at dodgy motels, kids can get up to some pretty dangerous hijinks. Case in point, 3 young brothers in Bolivia were recently hospitalized after purposely getting a black widow spider to bite them.
Man, these challenges on TikTok are getting way out of control.
Surprisingly, this was not a TikTok challenge.
Okay, why the hell would they have a black widow? That's like the most poisonous spider, isn't it?
Right, yeah, they poked it with a stick until it bit all 3 of them because they thought it would turn them into Spider-Man.
I mean, there can only be one Spider-Man, kids. It's not called the Spider-Men.
I feel kind of bad, making fun of kids, but honestly, this one's so bad, they should have really known better.
Yeah, these kids are idiots.
I mean,
everybody knows if you want to turn into Spider-Man, you got to get bitten by a radioactive spider.
What?
So the next time you do this, you've got to go down to the nuclear...
No, you
What?
can't. No, there's no next time.
They're still alive, right?
Oh my God. Look, it's almost understandable that the kids in our last story thought
With great
Spider-Man's
power.
origin story was real.
Comes great responsibility.
Would you please?
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Look, that's one thing, but there's really no excuse for this Florida man who claimed that the guns found in his car actually belonged to John Wick when he was questioned by police.
I mean, that's completely believable. John Wick has, dozens of guns.
What? It's a movie. It's not real.
I thought it was, a real guy, like a documentary.
No, officers asked this Florida man why he had guns in his car, but he was light years ahead of them with his excuse. He told the cops that he'd recently sold the car to his cousin, who happened to be John Wick.
I'm just hung up on... You're telling me that you don't think John Wick is a real guy.
Right, yeah, I really don't.
Have you seen the movie?
Have you seen Keanu Reeves, who is a real person?
Yeah, how can
he be both?
He wouldn't... I mean, they wouldn't... he played John Wick, but he's based off the real John Wick. He, he's the baddest-ass guy... Don't kill his dog.
Well, if that's true...
He'll kill you.
If that's true, then these cops missed out on the lead of the century, because apparently Florida man's cousin is John Wick, and they could have found him.
Good luck.
Right?
He would have kicked their asses. I mean, all this protest, that they would have put an end to that really quick if the police pissed off John Wick.
Oh, my God.
You'd have to replace every police department in America.
Oh my gosh, looks like we're getting another call. I don't...
Thank God, this is getting way off of... way out of control.
Alright, hello caller, why don't you tell us your name and where you're calling from?
Yes, Gold Silver. Phase 2 of our global domination
What?
protocol
Hello?
has gone quite swimmingly. I do
Hello?
agree. But I fear we may have been
Are you talking to us?
hypocritical with the whole bit about the mass riots in the middle of the pandemic. Oh, damn you, Green Schwartz. That's the beauty of it. It'll all lead to such a brilliant finish in November when we bring the virus back and we set off the bioweapon. Yes, dear boy. How could I forget?
Weird.
Yes, at the polling places. No, you damn fool, inside the super hurricane.
What?
Oh,
Super hurricane?
Lovely. How wonderfully evil. Oh, evil.
What the hell is this?
Well, what's evil if not my middle name, old chap? Oh, I always thought it was Slow-Mo. Oh, you're real shit for brains sometimes, Green Schwartz. You know that? Am I now? Then how come I've got the perfect plan for phase 2.3?
What are they talking about?
Bloody
I wanna
murder
hear this.
hornets again, I swear. No hornets. This is even better. We're going to bring the gang of good guys back into the mix. Oh, I love it.
Gang of
yes,
good
this
guys?
time we'll put them all in blackface. And we'll give them some explosives.
Whoa!
Maybe blow up a hockey game.
What the hell?
Brilliant. How deliciously. Wait for it. Evil.
This is...
What the fuck?
All right, let's just hang up on these guys. I'm actually getting the creeps here.
Yeah, this is creepy as fuck.
What the hell was that?
I knew you talking about conspiracies couldn't lead to anything
No,
good.
I mean, that was really freaking weird. Like, it was like the lines were crossed, and
Were they, like, threatening us?
I mean, I don't think they could hear us. Like, they weren't responding to anything we said.
So you think that, like, weirdos who were plotting evil schemes across the world just butt-dialed us?
I mean, what else do you think that was?
I have no idea what that was, but I'm freaked the hell out.
It was like the globalist Pinky in the Brain or something. Did you hear what they... So, I mean, what was... They said something about the gang of good guys?
I knew those guys were no good. I knew they were no good.
They were going to have them wear blackface to a
You know
hockey
what?
game?
That was just fucked up. I don't even want to know. Like,
And they said something about the murder hornets, too.
let's just get the hell out of here. Let's get the hell out of here while we can. We've done enough show for 1 week, I think.
I mean, I got to go to 8chan and tell them about this.
Oh, my God. All right.
Maybe I'm Q.
No. Shut
Holy
it down.
All right, well, see you guys next week, folks. I got some work to do.
Yeah, have a good week, everybody.
Brother, you better get down on your knees and pay 1,000 more fools are being born.